live with the owner of Oviedo's premier automotive repair shop.
That's right. Number one. Numero uno.
We can't get my race car right, but
Yeah, that's because you work on it. I didn't touch it.
don't listen to that garbage.
You don't want to pay nothing, but I said you work on it, you use lift.
We got a fan out there for Chris's Grand National. So, currently working on this bad boy. Got the first strut out, putting lowering springs in. Hey, are you going to the track tonight?
You're going to go,
Me and Donnie are going. Well, I'm going. That's why I'm doing this. All right. So got the first strut out. Let me turn this around. The first strut is out of the car and it is over at the strut compressor. Gonna grab the old handy dandy tool here. Where's the, God, dog. Hey, Donnie, can I borrow the air hose for a second?
Yeah. Trust me.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Woo. Hold on. God.
He's the number 3 kickboxer in the U.S. for what? Oh, yeah.
All right. We got the old spring on the spring compressor here, the old tool of death. Let's give her a... Oh, man. Keep your fingers and toes out of the way. Nailed it. All right, so there's one done. Go ahead and come up with this. Golly. Yep, so this is a little bit more legitimate way to do the lowering springs than I was originally going to do. I was actually going to do them by using the jack. Oops. Woo. Let's see if that'll stay there. So I was going to use them by using the jack as the spring compressor and doing them that way. But since I'm at Kyle's shop, I have the proper tools needed to get the job done right. So to get this strut plate off, I'll kind of show you how it goes back together for those that have not done springs on these cars. It's really easy to put it back together versus taking it apart and a lot less stressful. God, dog, this spring is just like 10 miles long. There is, in fact, a tool for this job. This one is mounted on the wall, which is kind of cool. Makes life pretty easy. I'll show it here in a second once I get these plates off. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. Ta-da! So, let me go ahead and turn this camera around. There's the old spring compressor. You kind of just tighten it down, take the tension off the strut, loosen the strut bolt. The strut will drop right out, and you put your new spring on, put it all back together. So all I got to do is reuse this strut mount. Obviously, I need the strut. This is a pain in the butt trying to hold all this stuff together. All right. Go back in the shop, get the first spring on. So I'll kind of show you how it goes back together, and you can figure out how to take it apart. It just comes apart in the same way. It goes together just the opposite way. So we got these white line springs here. Let's see if I can focus. Woohoo! Not too shabby. All right. So you just set the spring down on there. Make sure this is butted up against the stopper, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You kind of just put the strut mount back on top, turn it, turn it to where it butts up against the spring. And then since this spring is so much shorter, you can kind of just start threading it down without having to compress it. It's kind of nice. So it sits in there. You can start to thread it. And yeah, it goes back in that way. So let me go grab the air compressor or the air gun. We'll go ahead and get this started, bolted back down. Whew, it is nice and toasty. So, got some pretty bad news about my Fox body today. Along with it just being a pain in the butt because it doesn't want to run cool. I also was told I lost a fuel pump on a wide open pool today, so that sucked. That's more work to be done on the race car. But I'm not going to think about that right now because I kind of want to get this done. Let me see if I can post this up somewhere. There we go. All right. So once you get this bad boy back together, you can go ahead and pretty much install it in the car as one unit. So I'm going to do that now and kind of show you how it goes back together. It's pretty easy, actually. You just got to make sure this is aligned right. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty simple. All right. So now that I got it held in, you just slide the whole assembly back up into the strut tower. Thread a couple of you can thread them all down or a couple of them down. Once you get it back up in there, you're gonna want to take your sway bar end link, kind of snake it through there. That's one thing that has to come off. It prevents the strut from coming off. These lines actually go on the back side of this, so I'm gonna have to kind of finagle that. Give me 1 second. I'll tell you what, man, it's definitely a challenge trying to film this on my phone. Woo! Let me do this again. Sorry. I had on my GoPro on me, so this is a nightmare. All right. So now that you got it, now that I got it into right, this little push pin comes through here. This is for the ABS sensor. If I can get it to come back through. There we go. There's a 10mm bolt that holds that back through, but right now what I'm going to do is kind of just put the strut back to where it's supposed to go. See if I can hold this and do all this at the same time. Woo. All right. So if you get the bum bolt in, it's generally pretty easy. You can just swing this top one up. And now you got that. Both of those in there holding it in. The 10mm bolt. And you just put that there. I am trying to make it look better. I'm also trying to make it handle better. I'd like to go to an autocross this weekend, and on this stock suspension, I'm not really sure that it would perform as well as it could with a set of good lowering springs. Now these are white line lowering springs. I've heard pretty good things about them. I've read pretty good things about them. They are they're definitely engineered more for grip, not just looks. Thanks. The Fox body is actually gonna be getting torn apart slightly again. Today it was on the dyno under a wide open throttle pull. I lost a fuel pump. So one of a few issues I'm having with it right now. Not too happy at the situation, but there's not really much I can do. Oh man. Ugh. Get this bolt down here, thread it in. Woo. See if I can, there we go. At least get it started. So essentially, all you're gonna do, put all this back together, and then it's good. Tighten these bolts. These strut assemblies are pretty cool. Once you get the new spring on it, it's pretty easy. But I'm actually gonna just film this and make a regular video for it, because doing this live is kind of beating me up right now. So